We should be live. Hi, so I think we are live. And before, hi everyone, we are live, and I was just trying to check if you're not echoing on Facebook, because every time I start the interview, in my background, the Facebook and it starts echoing my voice. But at the moment, it's not happening. If it happens, I will tell you. Hi, I'm like the person I'm interviewing today. I'm so passionate about her. As a mother, I totally look up to her and her husband for parents they are to their children. So my first attraction to her anyway has always been the kind of mother she's been. And I've visited Ranish, who's the older one, and Kunal when my child was really young. And Kirthana probably thought my child is like her older son. We'll talk about it, because when she comes into this whole zone of mother with me, I just keep going on and on about it. We have Kirthana Ramarapu. She is a leader in early childhood development. She's in the space of children for so long. And as always, I do not like to read the bios. I do not like to talk about it, because the person itself is absolutely there to talk what they've done. Kirthana, welcome. And it's an immense, like you can see how excited I am to do this conversation. I totally love, you being a mom, and I'm totally inspired by it. So welcome, Kirthana. Let's talk about you. What do you do? And then we'll take on to your journey of being a mom. How was it all about?
Thank you so much, Shika, for having me on your journey of 100 Women in 100 Days. It's so exciting. Right. Just the thought of yours of bringing more women, I mean, that itself is, I can feel the goosebumps on me. So it's really nice to see what you're doing. And I totally look up to you, like the way you look up to me, like, we kind of, I think that's where the synergies are.
Absolutely.
And beautiful things that you do. And I think you came more close to my heart when you shot our family portrait. You actually showed us what our children are for us, and what kind of emotions they carry for us. So it was a beautiful experience for us. And Ranish was leaving for the US in like probably another week or so. And this was the most precious gift he said that he can take with him to the US. So
it's still giving me goosebumps, that shoot. So I will talk about it some other day. He's already graduated. I can't even believe that he's already graduated. It's been 3-4 years already for that shoot.
Yes, 2018. He's graduated this year.
Right.
And as you know, he's so passionate about animals. He's pursuing his doctor in vet medicine in UC Davis.
Right. Yeah. And we will talk about it. Like, for me, the interesting part is the changes you made for both your kids. Both your kids are totally opposite in their interests, and both of them are actually totally into what they're doing. But before that, we'll talk about it. What was your journey? How did you start into doing this early childhood, place, the space that you're in? How did you start there? And what was the journey with these two boys? And then we'll move on to talking about what all you did to Ranish becoming what he's become today.
Sure. So one of the reasons that I'm in this early childhood space is definitely, like many early childhood moms would say, is because of their children. I was in the software in the US, and when we moved back, I didn't find a program that gives a bonding experience in 2009, a bonding experience with music and dance. And Kinder Dance is a very beautiful program, and that is how we launched, I launched Kinder Dance here, is for every mom to experience that early childhood and nurture them to what they can be in a greater adulthood. Right. And it is so important. It is like building a skyscraper. So the more the foundation is strong, the more you give in, like, it's like a plant or a skyscraper. The more you give the foundation, the stronger they are. Right. They become very confident. Their self-esteems are really high. And so the program itself kind of gave me, but as a mother, I think like every other mother, the first time childhood, though I was very passionate. I came from a joint family. We had a lot of cousins having babies whom I would play with, take care of them, but nothing like having your own child and taking care of them is very different from taking care of your cousin's kids or niece and nephews. So, so I had experience with children, and my mother had a school in Nigeria. So every summer when I went there, I would help her in art, craft, painting, little classes, teaching them poems. So, that kind of kindled a lot of things inside me to say how a child grows at every step. And when my own child came, I was so worried, how would I bring this child up? I had my hurdles. It was not easy initially. Of course, with the second ones, like it just goes through. It's like you're experienced mom, so you kind of work through it. But initially, yes, I also took a long time to understand what the child is, how should I bring him up, what is. But one of the biggest things is me and my husband, even before Ranish, our oldest son, was born, we kind of decided what should be our, schedules. In a sense, right up from putting him into bed by 8 o'clock. Because Ravi says every mother should have their me time. And that me time actually rejuvenates for the next day. And that really helped us. And by 8, Ranish used to be in bed. I used to get a good time with my husband. We had our time. And then next day morning, we were really fresh to take care of him.
Right.
So small things of communicating between each other brought us such a long way. And we also decided 3 things. One is both will stay on the same page when the child asks us something. So they can't press buttons to say, okay, dad said no, maybe I can ask my mom. No. So I would say, did you ask dad? And he would say, did you ask mom? So we say, okay, let's decide. And, then we'll take the next step. So we also inculcated a habit in our children to ask only when it is really necessary.
Right.
Not every day, and every day I can't go for a movie. Every day I can't spend money. So there were certain values that we wanted to instill in them. And that was the first thing. Right. Second thing is we educated them as boys how important girls are in their lives. How important mother and the child is, a daughter, another girl is. So from a very young age, we kind of taught them how to respect women, I think, which is a very, very important thing. And I say it with pride is because a lot of Ranish's classmates' moms called me to tell me that he was like their to-go person when parties, they had to go for parties, then Ranish was somebody whom they could depend on. So which made me feel that that was a right move. And the third thing was that we will drive them with their passion, whatever it is, but we had to also be resilient to tell how they need to move forward. We really helped them in their passions.
Right.
We didn't give a lot of focus on education in the sense academics, but we gave a lot of focus on the extracurricular that they need. Right. And that in turn actually brought them back into the academics. Beautiful. So both do very well academically also. So I don't have any, and we don't compare on marks. We don't compare with the kids. Whatever they both have got it is there. Like one is very good in sports. Kunal is very good in football, in soccer.
Yes.
Ranish was not a sports person, but he was very good with his books and what he wanted to do.
Right.
And that was very important for us. Are they following their passion? Unlike Ravi and me, who found our passion at 40 years of age, right. We wanted them very early so they can live a happy life. See, that end goal is what is for them to be happy. True. And when we see our children happy, I don't think we need anything else.
Absolutely. And, when you're saying these things, recently I was interviewing Gary, who's a parenting expert. And I just he has 12 laws of parenting that he teaches, and he's a teacher. And he did say, I said, so if there's one of the laws that I would tell you that Gary, because I'm also getting men to come and cheer up these women to be part of this, right? So he's on the cheering team. And I said, so one thing about parenting, what will you talk, like if one of the laws you want to say is the best thing to start with? And he said something called united front, to
Uh-huh.
operate out of united front, which is what you are talking about, that both of you have to be on the same page. And that is very important. And then that, he thinks, builds the foundation that parenting is taken seriously, and on weekly basis you're talking about your parenting and you're talking about what's the next step. And with uh, like what I find fascinating about both your boys are, they are such individually developed with their individual interests, absolutely. And it's a right to take, like, especially when what Rinish is doing, to have mosquitoes breeding in your garden, to algae and fungus, and I don't know what all he's done. I will talk about it, and I'm so passionate about it because I see Shaurya, my older one, so much like interested. Like recently, he was saving bees with his hands from the swimming pool because they were falling in the swimming pool. So he was just picking them up, and I let him do it. Though I was worried that one sting will come, but I was being a little wrong. So, uh, being that mom, and you mentioned one of the days that you yourself are very scared of lizards. But I
Yeah.
believe even the spiders are not allowed to leave from your house. Like spiders were meant to be there in the house, and the whole love of animals and the nature surrounding, and he was experimenting and learning and doing it at home with the support from you. It's a rare, for sure. Like, I'm sure that we try to be all brave, etc. But if somebody's scared of spider and somebody's scared of lizards, and breeding mosquitoes was another level in the corner, when he told me, I'm breeding these mosquitoes so that they can feed the fish that I have upstairs.
Yes.
And for you to just like sitting back and looking at it unfold, and not for a year but for years and years and years. And then, of course, when you told me that when he left to study, everything just vanished. Somehow everything died down, nothing was there. So the life that was breeding inside the house in these forms of his experiments. And this is so in that's it's definitely, I think a book is to be written on this, because mothers need to hear this. And that's why I was so excited to get you on. Let's talk about that. How did you do this? Like, how were you okay, in spite of being scared of spiders and lizards yourself? You allowed such life of diversity, from snails to growing, so many things happening. How did you do that?
So it's an interesting thing, because when he was 3 years, we were moving from US to India, and I took him to Pet Mart, and then he looks at all the animals, and he says, points it out and says, "Ma, this is what I want to take with me to India." And I go close by, and there's a small baby snake. And when I read it, it grows up to 10 feet long.
Yeah, he has
And
one
I
now.
first thought as a mother to say is, when I opened the door, he's sleeping with a snake. I was like, oh, that gave me the jitters. But then I didn't want to say anything. I came home, I told Ravi, my husband, that, this is what he wanted. And we didn't discourage him. And when we came to Whitefield in 2009, there were snakes, lizards, all kinds of insects everywhere. My cousins would keep the Gerber bottles handy, because don't know when Ranish will come and find little insects to keep in the bottle and take it home. So all my cousins knew what he needed. So those were there, and cats used to be fed. Owl babies, we've saved umpteen number. So it was a process for me to learn.
Right.
Though eerie stuff was something which I was not very happy with, but then I said, for the child's sake, I have to take this fear out of me. And very beautifully, the process also is to say that Ranish educated me in a lot of things. Why a spider is required in the house?
Right.
Why should lizards be there? How
Right.
the ecosystem forms. It's like coexisting. Now in pandemic, we are talking about coexisting, but we've saved umpteen number of birds, snakes in our house, owls, eagles, I mean, babies all over the time, every time. And he would make a environment for them
Right.
till the animal rescue people come and take it. He would make holes in shoe boxes for the baby owl, feed it, Ma, you have to feed it with cross fingers. So it was a beautiful learning experience. Of course, when he left, there were a lot of things, like you said, you saw the two percola fishes, the Nemo fish.
Oh yes, oh yes.
And Shaurya thought they committed suicide, or because he jumped out of,
Yeah,
right?
because he came, I just tell the audience this, that I'm sitting with Kirthana talking, and apparently, like Ranish told him that last time you came, there were two of them. This time there's one, and he had this question, why there's one, and one had just jumped out of that hole, and he thought he committed suicide or something, and I was just like, I don't know what you're saying, but Shaurya still remembers, and he felt that I don't know what like the fish was doing, committing suicide. I don't know how he got that notion at that age, but he's totally fascinated. He still remembers Ranish for he's doing. And what I liked about him, Kirtana, and here is like a lot of animal lovers must be watching this and thinking that what are we talking about? But I must tell them this, that Ranish never interfered with their environment or tried to, like he had created situations and rescue things, and like he was trying to create wherever they can be rescued, put properly. He would study them, he would look at them, he would understand, so that he can actually do a bigger thing that he's up to now by being a qualified vet, if that's what he's doing, and I think
Yes.
he wanted to work in the forest to rescue and take care of this. So just to reach there, a mother's journey and a father's journey as well. I mean, both of you have done a great job, and Ranish was allowed to do this at home, and not say, oh, go to a lab and do it, or just sit down on a computer screen and research. Here are the encyclopedias. Like actually, the first thing anybody does is they see a spider cobweb and it's just removed because it's considered dirt. And when I visited you, and I like, for me that day was amazing because I'm scared of it, and Shaurya at the age of 5 was heading towards that, and that gave me confidence that, I mean, let him do it, even if he's picking up bees from this thing, even if they sting, he'll come to know. But no bee has ever stung Shaurya when he was trying to rescue them. And for in our house, like even mosquito, again, like if somebody kills a mosquito around it, no matter what, no matter what logic you're giving him, he is very upset about it, that all mosquitoes are not bad, and he'll give us this big thing. Now he's 8 years old, so Ranish is definitely on our mind when things like these are happening, and it's amazing. So why early childhood, like what as a profession brought you? You've mentioned that yes, this is a journey, but what does it bring to your life? What have you been doing with early childhood? Let's talk about that.
I love dancing, and I was always passionate about children, their happiness, the smile that you can give on their face.
Yeah.
And music and dance always, not just children, I think across all ages, it just gives you that level of happiness. Let it be, you're listening to music alone, you're dancing alone, you're dancing with your friends, whatever. I think that was one of the key things which attracted me to kinder dance. It said dance for children, and that too, if it's an education through dance, it was completely out of the box.
Right.
It is a very, very unique concept. I mean, there might be another 100 programs that would tell that we do dancing for children.
Right.
But the 40-year-old curriculum that Carol or Kinder Dance US founder had actually brought into for the betterment of a child. So she made sure Kinder Dance was a catalyst for the child.
Right.
Every child grows. It's not that, that they do. They will eventually, with the mother, with the father, with an environment, they will grow. But the catalyst was very important for the brain development, health-wise, physical fitness, cognitive skills, motor skills. When I saw the entire parachute, that is one of the reasons we also named our company Learning Parachute, is the name of the company which bought the rights for Kinder Dance, because it was a whole parachute and the dance was just the icing on the cake. Right. And I started it by dancing myself. I learned the program myself. I taught for many years. I still dance. I still teach my teachers. I still choreograph, but my teachers do the classes. And we call them all early childhood facilitators because they facilitate children on their growth patterns. Right. And that is why I brought this.
And let's, like, heard many stories. Let's hear one of your most favorite story with a child, because I know my passion with children is so much. Like I love to hear one of, like I've heard many stories of yours, but there are some stories which are very emotional, and that's your impact, Kirtana. That's the impact that you've been making through these programs. And let's just hear like any one of your favorite story that comes to your mind when I say that, when you're making these impacts on these on the brains and lives of these children. Let's hear one short story, and then we'll move on to our next question.
So this was the first batch of kinder dance when I launched, and we did it in Palmetto's Clubhouse here, Whitefield, Bangalore. And as for everyone, your first batch is the most special set of children. And I can still relate to their moms. I can still relate to the children. Even now, after 11 years, they all still send pictures to me. They're doing professional ballet, Kathak, whatever may be the dance. They send me pictures and say, Kirthana, this is because you've instilled that habit and that good vibe on art and culture, and I would like to thank you. And that takes me a long way. It's very, very emotional, because some of them are already 11 years, some of them are 15 years. So it's very, very, kind of heartwarming to still receive messages from moms who connect with me. Wherever I go in the mall, I see anybody, they will come across and say, Kirthana, I am so and so person, like it's really nice that we have made an impact in the child's life.
Right.
And parents are happy about it. And that is the most important thing, right? Parents understand that this program has added value to them somewhere early on in the childhood.
Right.
So that is, even it was, I remember one of the parents saying, she wouldn't dance much. She would come to the class, but that little sticker that you would give took us such a long way. And, so that was really nice to kind of, so that's very emotional for me even now. Every time I hear moms connecting.
That's like your testimonial. That's like a testimonial coming after 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. So as you know that now we're moving, and I can talk to you, and some people I can talk forever, and I keep saying that I have to keep reminding myself that this should be a 30-minute introduction. So this whole movement that about mothers and a journey of a mother and what she feels, and I've used the medium of photography, but actually photography is just a tool through which we are exploring and self-discovering. The real thing is that feeling that a mom has when she becomes a mom. And I am actually on the journey now, finding some moms who said, no, I didn't feel like that. And when I see them in the background and what they were and why they didn't feel like that, I see a lot of spirituality in their families, surrounded by good health, surrounded by a lot of positive environment, and hence it doesn't go unnoticed, that whole thing that a mother is going through. And when you talked about the boys of taking care, recently I was talking to a mom, and here she was telling me, oh yeah, what you're talking about, the ripple effect on children and the fact that they are very conscious in front of the camera, or they don't want to be in front of the camera, and all this chatter that comes. So I was talking to her mom, and she's like, I have daughters and I must not talk like that. And then I told her that I have sons, I have two sons, and I want these two sons to actually grow up knowing that when a mother's journey starts, all the hormonal changes and physical body changes and the kind of stuff that we go through does bring some kind of changes in our system, in the thinking, the way we feel about ourselves. And tomorrow, if they have any woman, their sisters, their friends, their family, they need to uplift them at that time and make them feel absolutely like what you said, that Ravi said, it's a me time, right? Step in to give the me time to the mom, because moms are like doing it 24/7. And it was not India, it was across the world. I was finding mothers, just one kid, two kid, five kids, just working. So that's why this movement actually started, because it's not the photograph, but the day any mother starts stepping in without even worrying about their pictures is the one they have actually overcome, and they've come up from that ditch which they sit down and feel that I don't look so nice. and then they're not missing from their children's lives, memories, and they don't have a ripple effect on their children. So what do you think about that? Have you personally felt that way? And if you did, how did you overcome it? And you deal with so many mothers. Do you think that this issue needs to come out and needs to be addressed with this book that I'm coming out with?
Actually, over the years, I think initially when moms, they were all kind of very, they were nice and happy is also because of families that were together, joint families. So motherhood was not such what you call a painstaking, like lot of moms think. But we should also think to say it's not coming back to us again and again. So live that moment, experience the joy. It's not easy. I mean, with my second son, I was 5 months bedridden, continuously throwing up with nausea, food, even a tap, the water would open and I would be ready to kind of gag. So it was not easy for 5 to 6 months, but one of my friends in the US told me, live the moment. You're not going to be pregnant for the third or the fourth time. Enjoy the child. So it is how you're preparing your body is one. How mentally, physically are you going to be, and now there is no dearth for information. I mean, you can read through before you actually step into anything. You can do a lot of research. Some could be scary to say, oh, I don't want motherhood at all. This is too much for me to handle. But today's women, today's girls, younger, they are going through a lot when it comes to work, balancing home stuff. And so you can't blame for what they are going through.
Right.
So it is very important that their ecosystem, the environment around them supports them.
Right.
And if the environment is not ready, they should reach out to friends or somebody in their community whom they know, or a professional. Nowadays, there are a lot of professionals who help women, pregnant women to come out with such emotional stress. Just talking would help them. And I think that is what we say. And for us, I think as a joint family, aunts, grandmoms, they all gave us little tips, which now we think is a myth, or we take it away from our dictionary and say it's not required. But little thing. So I'll tell you one small thing just to add why it was very important for us to go through the old system is also my grandmother, who was 80 years, called me when I was pregnant with Ranish at 6th month, and she said, mop the floor every day. It could be just a 10 by 10, mop the floor. And I asked her why, but she very scientifically explained to say how the muscles can actually, become very flexible. And I've seen it with all my nieces also. Delivery was never a hassle. And post that, coming back out of the emotional stress was faster.
Right.
But again, they have to prepare. Every woman should prepare because it's a new life that we are giving. And I feel that's very important for us to prepare in every which way we can to step into this new journey and then give the best that the new life needs. Yeah. That is all I can suggest.
So that's why, what happens is, Kirthana, that this is something that we should do. But there is something that happens to us, right? Like this is, some of us do not have, either we are like into the situation and then we are just thrown into this world where we don't have this guidance, even if it's available online. But what happens is that the minute, and it's happening so much that the minute you, like these moms are sitting alone when things for the day settle down, and they're totally lost, and they don't want to look at themselves, because earlier moms didn't even have the pressure of this cameras facing them. They didn't, like, cameras were not there, the social media was not there, the groups were not there, WhatsApp was not there. Now all that is there, the children are taking your picture, and then the minute they see that woman that they don't want to see because they don't want to acknowledge what's happening to her, they look at it and they're like, no, and then they're like, don't take our pictures. And they are very, very adamant, and some people are so adamant about not taking their pictures. And my work has been to bring that inner light out, saying that your light is there. And hence this thing also, this book is about those 100 shades of mothers who did it, like who, in spite of being moms, made it. And that's this book all about, that these 100 shades will become a friend. Like if you don't have anybody to tell you, this book will become that grandmom you're talking about, or that community. And then in this book, I'm also like letting people to reach out to your Facebook groups or your emails if some mother wants to reach out to be uplifted. So these champions, why am I calling them champions, is also because they will become that community that that mother doesn't have, that she cannot reach out to. Not everybody can reach out to and speak up as well. And then it keeps piling up with second child, third child, fourth child, because it's not been resolved at an early age. And then this picture thing is just a reminder that we don't like ourselves. We don't like who we've become. Not realizing that the day we cross this, that it doesn't matter. Let's show up. Let's move forward. Let's not put our dreams aside. Let's not keep criticizing online world is this, online world is that, because all that is resistance for us to show up. It becomes like a resistance that we don't want to show up. And even if you talk to mothers, I've been researching for my course, and if I tell them that you really want to do this, but why aren't you doing it? Because this, who wants this fake online world? But the online world has become real now since COVID. There's no fake online world. There's a real Kirthana I'm talking to. There's a real Shikha right here who is connecting, or I'm connecting to so many beautiful people across. But if I don't show up, if I keep myself back by just blaming all this, that is not the outer, that's the crust, that's the resistance. The real thing is that we do not feel that we look good, there's pressure and then all that, and we rather just like pass this beautiful life without living that. And that's what this book is about. And I know I can like you're a great passionate person, and I want to know that once you're part of this book, of course you're also agreeing to help and inspire moms. What's your dream that you would bring to this book, because it's called 100 Self-Portrait, 100 Dreams, that inspires moms or helps them in any way to move forward with whatever they want to?
So one of the things about the big book that came out is, there'll be a lot more people when your book is launched. And this is not just, India. I think you're taking moms from all over the world.
Yes.
And so they're going to have a lot more people to look up to say, yes, it's not that easy. Like today I'm sitting and talking today in front of the camera, is because something inside me actually woke up, and it took a lot of time for me to be camera friendly.
Right.
I would shy away from camera or do interviews, but we overcome that. But that has to be there inside you to say that you want to do it. So I think you're giving a food for thought for many of the women, and this is one book which I feel is going to go like multifold. So your 100, it's a hub and spoke, I would say. So you are going to do 100, but those 100 women are going to inspire many, many, many more women who will become a huge clan. And hopefully what lot of women are worried about their own self, how they look, what it is, should slowly die down with this particular movement that you have done. I would call it a good movement. Yes. And now as a woman myself, I love to promote women entrepreneurship. That is one of our biggest goals in Kinder Dance, is to empower more and more women to come on the career front, bring a fine balance between their career, profession, and their home, and be able to still stand and say, you know what, I've done a very good thing. End of the day, there should be some sense of happiness to say, I've not done anything versus what I have done. Right. Many are not fortunate, but they will come out of it. And that is what I will pray for and hope for. And may this movement of yours, 100 on 100, be 1,000 on 100, or many, many more on 100.
Thank you so much, Kirthana. And that's really sweet of you. And I just want to say that like one fine day, however many years it takes, nobody will tell me and smile and laugh about the fact self-portrait really, who takes self-portraits? Because I always say that it's not the selfies, because everybody takes selfies. It's the discovery of yourself, of what, like, when you take your own self-portrait, there will be chatter, what has happened to my face, and just embracing it step by step, keep going at the self-portrait before that light comes out and say, I love this. this is the woman I am, and I will show up irrespective of what.
So let me add one thing about the self-portrait is we did one course with you, the 5 minutes every day thing.
Yes.
For the week, and then you kind of culminated on
it. Challenge, yeah.
It was something which I look forward to every day in the morning to say what I can click.
Right.
Then the self-portrait came, and I saw myself very differently. I saw many other people, Neha, Kavita, there were so many other women, Seema, they all put up their portraits. Yeah. And it was not a selfie, but it was a very profound moment for them, which you can see a picture and say it is a profound moment. And that is what you try to instill in many of us. And we are so grateful to you for doing that. And that is also one of the reasons I think we all love ourselves of what we are today, is these little things that you instigate for us to do. And I would urge many, many more women to join the self-portrait challenge with you and be able to discover the best in them and shun down all that is not required in their life.
Absolutely not required. We have so many things to do. And thank you so much, Kirthana. I will try and end this now here, because it's always a very emotional ride with you. It's always what you think, and you as a mom, and how I have seen you uplifting people around you with such a gorgeous smile, with so much love, that just being around you, there's a lot of warmth that goes away. And this book is going to bring that warmth to a lot of mothers who do not have access for any kinds of inspiration for whatever reason, whichever part of the world. This book is going to just tell them. And eventually, I know we are on to something big, and I'm glad you're joining the tribe with it. So you're my 10th champion, and we will see you soon with your portraits in the book. And there will be some of the other activity which will come to me, and I will be doing in the process next 100 days. And actually officially starts today, Kirthana. I had said on the 1st of August, it will start for next 100 days. So the countdown begins today. In the next 100 days, we will have the book out. The design of the book, and of course, the selling part, everything else will come later. But the design of the book will be launched on a Zoom session 100 days from now. And all 100 mothers are going to be participating in that big movement, which we'll go live with. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I'm just going to stop the live now, just to con.